Well, hello. It is Saturday, March 26, 2022. We're on day 18 of our 40 days of prayer. I am on page 28 in our study guide, and our theme today is to begin with brokenness. I'm going to read Nehemiah 1, chapter 1, verses 1 through 11. How does revival and renewal and revitalization and awakening, how do these things begin? Do they begin with a person finally just getting sick of it and deciding that they're going to go out and shout and scream and yell at people and badger them or lecture them? Does awakening take place because someone says, I'm going to go out there and fix everything? One, that's not relying on God's power, and we'll talk about that at some point in the future. That's not relying on God's power, and two, that's not the way that Jesus worked. He had harsh words to say for people, but he also showed great compassion and was moved emotionally by the plight of people. He understood the difficulty that they faced, and he looked at the circumstances in front of him, and he was compassionate. We see a similar thing in Nehemiah. Nehemiah is going to do a great work rebuilding the city of the wall of Jerusalem and reestablishing the law and reestablishing the worship of God, helping Ezra do that. But where does he begin? Where does he start? Listen to Nehemiah chapter 1, verse 1. The words of Nehemiah, the son of Hakaliah. Now, as it happened in the month of Chislev, in the 20th year, as I was in Susa in the citadel, that Hanani, one of my brothers, came with certain men from Judah, and I asked them concerning the Jews who escaped, who had survived the exile, and concerning Jerusalem. So he's in captivity, and he's wondering, how are the brothers back on the land doing? Is everything okay? Are they all right? And they said to me, the remnant there in the province who had survived the exile is in great trouble and shame. The wall of Jerusalem is broken down, and its gates are destroyed by fire. If you have no wall and you have no gates, you can't protect yourself. You can't have valuables. You can't really have a city. You need defense. So they're in a bad state. Verse 4, as soon as I heard these words, I sat down and wept and mourned for days. And I continued fasting and praying before the God of heaven. And I said, O Lord God of heaven, the great and awesome God who keeps covenant and steadfast love with those who love him and keep his commandments, let your ear be attentive and your eyes open to hear the prayer of your servant, that I now pray before you day and night for the sins of the people of Israel, your servants, confessing the sins of the people of Israel, which we have sinned against you. Even I and my father's house have sinned. We have acted very corruptly against you, and have not kept the commandments, the statutes, and the rules that you commanded your servant Moses. Remember the word that you commanded your servant Moses, saying, if you are unfaithful, I will scatter you among the peoples. But if you return to me and keep my commandments and do them, though your outcasts are in the uttermost parts of heaven, from there I will gather them and bring them to the place that I have chosen to make my name dwell there. They are your servants and your people, whom you have redeemed by your great power and by your great hand. O Lord, let your ear be attentive to the prayer of your servant and to the prayer of your servants who delight to fear your name, and give success to your servant today, and grant him mercy in the sight of this man. And then he says, now I was cupbearer to the king. Nehemiah is going to ask a bold thing. He's going to ask to be given leave to go back to the city and to rebuild the walls, and he's going to ask for resources and money. He's in a place of power. He's the cupbearer to the king. He's a trusted man. He has been placed in a place of power for such a time as this to do a great and mighty work for the Lord. But do you know where he starts? He starts with broken, humble confession before the Lord, repenting for his sins, for the sins of the people, coming before the Lord and saying, hear me, hear my hear my shattered heart that's broken over the sins of the people and how we've failed to live up to your commandments. And now, Lord, hear and do something. We begin with brokenness. Well, it's been a joy to share these videos with you. If you'd like to share any feedback or insights or prayer requests, please leave a comment, contact me directly, hit the like button on this video and subscribe. I think that puts it in front of more people. If you've just run across this video randomly, we worship together at Harvest on Sundays at 10:30 a.m. We would love to have you. And you can learn more about us at harvestbc.com. I hope you have a great day today. God bless you.